Hi guys, welcome back to Book Review Thursday. Today we're going over God of Pain by Rina. This one is the second book in the series Legacy of Gods. I read the first book like a year ago. I'll probably reread it and do a review on that if you guys want me to. If not, we'll keep going along with the series and skip the first one. I gotta say, I did really enjoy this book. I don't know if I enjoy it more than the first, though. This one goes over the Annika in Creighton. Honestly, I really like the name, Creighton. I think I pronounced it right. If you don't know, Legacy of Gods is like mafia influenced kids. Is a college romance, and it's two colleges that are set in an island around Europe, Great Britain, and like only the rich family goes to these colleges because they're high class. We have Annika. She is the daughter of the New York Mafia in Creighton. He's the adoptive son of the Mafia in Great Britain, or England, actually, because Great Britain is the whole thing, if I'm not wrong. Either way, Annika likes to dance in a specific ballet. And then Creighton, what does he like to do? Torture people? Pretty much. Yeah, fight and torture people. One thing that I thought was very funny is that Annika, her favorite composer is Tchaikovsky, which is a Russian composer, which happens to be my favorite composer too. So I thought it was funny that she called Creighton my Tchaikovsky because I really like that. So I connected with her over that. As ridiculous as it might sound. Beginning of the story, Annika has always been interested in Creighton. Creighton hasn't given her the light of day, and he doesn't seem to talk much. He's always very quiet, where Annika talks for 3 people and even tries and cooks for him. And we find out that she is a horrible cook, trash cook, but he will always eat what she cooks, and it's because of some past trauma that he has when he was little. And she shows interest on him. She starts to pursue him. And we get a quote that talks a little bit about what he's into. And it's, hypothetically speaking, I have deviant tastes and violent tendencies for the opposite sex. You're so fucking breakable, I'll crush you in no time. I'm in. I am in. Seems to be the problem with Creighton is that he thinks Annika is too young for him. There's a 3-year difference. I don't know about you, but to me, anything less than 5 years is nothing. Big deal. Seriously. I don't see it. Now, if we're talking about like a 15-year-old and 20-year-old, and then that's different. That's a problem because one is a minor. But like if you're 20 and he's 25, who gives a fuck? I don't. Do you? One thing we find out. I'm not gonna read the quote he sent, but I'm gonna read the quote Annika said. Who thought the quiet Creighton has such a dirty mouth? It's almost like I'm eating another version of him. I love the dirty talkers. I live for them. Do you like the dirty talkers? Because I'm a big fan. It is right up my alley. Because I don't even know this, but the quiet ones tend to be the most dangerous. At least that's the point in every single book I've read. All the ones that were like the quiet ones seem to be like the most fucked up sexually. In a good way, not a bad way. We don't judge. We read and we don't judge. We have the first sexual interaction of them is in a shelter, an animal shelter, in which Creighton spanks Annika 10 times and then pleases her with his fingers. And after that, she realizes that if she's a little bit of a brat, she'll get more of his attention. And Creighton, is not good with it. They fight me again, and this punishment will look like child's play in comparison to what I'll do to you. Why are you threatening me with a good time? Oh, that's not a thing, you know? Oh my god, why am I tearing up? I really enjoyed this book. So, the camera stopped recording because apparently the SD card was full. So, this is part 2 of the same book review. And I'm upset because it was so nice, but I'm going to try and give it the same amount of energy as the other one. I think I finished here. Okay, so we have Annika in Creighton. Annika is 18, so she's at the age in which the mafia usually they find her someone to marry. And she talks with her mom, and her mom told her that if she were to fall in love with someone or be in a serious relationship, she'll put in work with her dad so she doesn't have to marry him. And she talks about it with her friends at the university because they're all mafia interconnected. And they say Brandon is going to be someone that she can act to be a boyfriend with. But Creighton, at this point, is jealous that she doesn't even consider him as a person to date. So here we have the turning point in which they become to have like a public relationship. I'd never know until I tried. And don't be a hypocrite. You don't get to tell me to not take Brian as a fake boyfriend, then go have other people. If you're going to unleash your inner sadist, unleash it on me. You fucked up again. I've given you an opening to try and run away, but you went ahead and refused to take it. Don't blame me for what will happen next. You're now mine to punish and discipline. Little Purple. Get ready. He calls her Little Purple because her favorite color is purple and she seems to wear everything of the purple color and all her stuff seems to be purple too. Sorry if you hear the coughing, my husband has been sick for a while. We have a scene in the shelter when they're having their first date and it's raining and they're in the rooftop and they start dancing in the rain, which I think is very romantic. Very movie-like, very High School Musical. I hope I get to do it at one point. I don't know, it sounds silly, but like cutesy. There's a quote in this book that I don't really get. So if you read this book and you understand it, please explain it in the comments below because I would love to understand it. It's violence isn't the answer. Violence is the question. And the answer is yes. Does that mean yes, violence is the answer? Maybe I'm double thinking it. Whatever. The main drama within the story. So Creighton originally was from a governor mafia interconnected in New York City. This man was a sexual abuser and tried to abuse the wife of a big mafia man, which got him killed. And then this mafia person pushed all the women he abused to come forward. This obviously hindered his wife, which apparently she used to help him get this woman to abuse of. And their reputation, she tried to sell her body, didn't work. She hated the shame, not having the money and all that stuff. So she ends up committing suicide. And her son, which happens to be Creighton, she tries to kill him with monoxide poisoning, like she released gas into the house. But he gets to crawl out of the house and survives. And we find out that the person that killed him was actually Annika's dad, the mafia man, and he actually helped and make sure that he was getting adopted. And he got adopted by a family in England that was mafia interconnected, and that's how Annika and him came together in college. And he always wanted to get revenge of these people, not because of his parents, but because of his child self, which I think doesn't make sense at all, but we needed the drama within the book. So obviously this creates drama for them not being together. At this point, Annika and Jeremy, her brother, are in New York, and the friends of Creighton kidnap Nikolai, which is the right-hand man of Jeremy, to bring him back so Creighton can try and kill Jeremy and get revenge on the family, which I don't understand why he would want to get revenge, because we know since the beginning these parents were not good parents to him. They were abusive, so like, why would you miss them? Whatever. And during all this altercation, we have Brandon that comes down and tries to free Nikolai, which makes me think we're gonna have a gay romance down the line within Brandon and Nikolai, which I'm interested to see how that will work out. But during all this altercation, Creighton is gonna stab Jeremy, and we have Annika telling him like, do not do it, because she's pointing at him with a gun, and he goes forward to stab him, and Annika shoots him in the chest. He obviously survives, and then after getting better, he comes and kidnaps Annika with the help of Cecily, which the next book is about her, and Jeremy, which I'm looking forward to reading that one, because Jeremy is a very interesting character within the book. He seems to have a dark past. Either way, I lost my train of thought. He kidnaps her and brings her to an island. They're in the island for 2 weeks before her dad, Adrian, comes and saves her. And at this point, we have the dad, Adrian, pointing a gun at Creighton. Annika takes the gun from one of the guards and points it at her head, saying that she'll kill herself if her dad hurts Creighton. And we have Creighton's declaration of love. Listen to me, Annika. You're the only person who ever reached inside me, saw the ugly, rotten parts, and stayed anyway. You gave me yourself in spite of knowing how empty I am. You fill me up with your endless energy, purple color, and fucking violets. I didn't understand how you liked me when I didn't like myself. How you fought to make me experience normal things despite my disinterest. When I found out the truth about my childhood, the only thing that broke me was knowing I couldn't be with you anymore. And when you didn't choose me and pull that trigger, I became a bitter wanker with a death wish. I didn't care what happened as long as I had you, which is why I brought you here. But I realize now that it wasn't the right thing to do, which is why I chose to let you go. What you do isn't the right thing either. You might be able to live without me, but I won't survive a day without you. So your death won't solve any fucking thing. If you pull that trigger, mark my words, I will follow right after you. That hits deep. I love that. But at the same time, because he's declaring this in front of her dad and the guard, it's a little cringe. What the hell? Sorry, my cat is sleeping in a very weirdly position. I think those are her legs, her paws. Yeah, whatever. And that's the last quote I have for them, because after that, they live happily ever after. Their families tend to work better. Um, Annika earns the love and forgiveness from all of Crichton's family even after shooting him. Crichton doesn't really learn the forgiveness with Adrian, but we find out that the men within these books are very jealous, very possessive, very obsessive. So they have a problem with sharing the women in their life. Either way, if you read this book, let me know what you think. Did you like it? The next one is God of Wrath, which I'm actually looking forward to read. And honestly, I didn't read the first series, which is the series of the parents of these characters, which I will need to read too. So I'm looking forward to that. I love Rina. Her love scenes are very, very good, especially if you're like in the darker side of things. It's a good read. So I 100% recommend. And let me know which book would you like me to review next. This is Yeritza from the Editing Future here. Something I forgot to mention about this book. If you like knife play and gun pleasing scenes, they are in this book. I believe I forgot to mention it for a previous book that I read, but I think it's Stranded has another gun pleasing scene. And Burn for Me, I believe, has knife play. Yeah. Thank you for reading.